Like I said earlier, we're so excited to be here managing your property, Cresswind at the Ponds. I want to introduce you to our FirstService team. So really the purpose behind this is to show you that your on-site team, that's just not who you have. Like there's a whole group of people and a company behind them supporting them. Although you'll be dealing with them 99% of the time, we're here supporting them, but also as a resource to you, the homeowner or resident. So with us today is Dennis Abbott. He is the president of the Carolinas. As I said, my name is Joe Padrone. Been with the company for about 10 years, regional director for HOA Active Adult Lifestyle Communities, and I do have some condominiums in Atlanta that I also oversee. But Gary Julian, who is not here today, he had to go back because he's the general manager and also the regional director for the Cresswind brand for FirstService. He had a meeting today with his board at Cresswind Lake Lanier. Also today is Mark LeClaire, regional director of lifestyle for Cresswind. So he'll be coming up talking and showing a little video and some slideshows about what he does and for his community at Lake Lanier, but also what he implements across the other Cresswind products for us. And then Pascal Acorier, who is here. She's the executive assistant. She really helped us get the transition in place. So she was dealing with Associa, trying to gather all their information to bring it over. So when we started on January 1, that we had good information. Unfortunately, Associa wasn't all that helpful. So that is why there were some hiccups along the way, and we apologize for that. We would have liked it to go smooth and never for it to be an effect on you, the homeowner. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So we're working through that, and we'll talk a little bit more about kind of where we're at with that transition. But we apologize that you had to feel that effect. That shouldn't have been the case, but unfortunately this time it was. So now I'm going to introduce you to your on-site team. Your general manager is Dan Johnson. I'll let him come up, introduce himself, and he'll talk about the rest of the team real quick.
Thanks, Joe. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Johnson. I see some familiar faces. I've had the opportunity to meet with some individual residents as well as some organizations from the Cresswind side. So I'm seeing some of those folks out there. Just want to take this opportunity to introduce the on-site team here. Again, I'm Dan. I'm the general manager. This is Janet Chantavan. She is our lifestyle director, and she and Mark are going to talk a little bit about lifestyle here in a moment. We also have Eva McGrath. Eva, who is many of you know. Jeff Ricker is our maintenance director. He's been here since January 1st, and a crowd favorite, I'm sure, Phil Lugo in the back there. So I want to take just a second before we talk about lifestyle. A lot of you submitted questions to me and to Eva to get answered. So I want to take an opportunity to answer some of those before we get to the Q&A session to maybe help expedite some of the answers. There is a Coulter meeting next week. Hopefully most of you got that email. On February 6th at 5 o'clock at the Farmhouse Pavilion, Coulter and Coulter representatives will be there to answer specific Coulter questions. So we're not going to answer Coulter questions today. That's not our role. But I do want to just briefly talk about some of those that were asked. It was mainly about the second pool and dog park that was promised to the Ponds development, as well as minutes and attention from the annual meeting that some of you may have attended. So those were the bulk of the questions we got about Coulter. They will be there again next Wednesday, the 6th at 5 o'clock at the Farmhouse Pavilion to answer any questions you may have for them, okay? I'm going to go down this list of questions you submitted to us about FirstService, what we can provide, the needs of the community, as well as the questions about the transition that you submitted. The FirstService website, it will be up and running here in the next 3 or 4 days. You will have your own login for our Connect portal, where you can see documents and a calendar of events and all those types of things. That is more of a user-friendly item for you from an HOA standpoint. In the next 60 to 90 days, we're also going to be rolling out more of a lifestyle website where you'll be able to connect more with clubs, see more items about flyers and events that are happening on property. So that's a little bit more of an interactive lifestyle piece. The one that's going to roll out in the next 2 or 3 days is going to be more of your HOA business side of the house. Lots of questions about Baytree. Jeff and I are meeting with Baytree weekly right now to try to get up to speed on where we stand. If you have a specific issue with your property as it pertains to Baytree and the maintenance, please email me. FirstService makes it really easy to email folks. My email is dan.johnson@fsresidential.com, and I'm sure many of you have gotten my emails, but it's for any of us, it's our first name dot last name at fsresidential.com. But please send those to myself or to Jeff. Again, we're meeting with Baytree weekly to get up to speed. They have come to us hand in hand with some issues that they realize that they have, and we just want to pass that along to you, that we're working with them and we're going to continue to work with them. That's a long-standing relationship with Coulter. Baytree isn't going anywhere, so it's going to be our responsibility to take them to task if and when we have a need, okay? Here's a hot button one. Will Ponds residents be attending shows or events over here in this clubhouse? Absolutely not, okay? So, yeah. We realize the model of the community. We're going to uphold that. Our goal, though, is to enhance the relationship. We have the oyster roast right across the way here in a few weeks. We'd love to see all of you there. So we want to build a bridge between the two communities. That doesn't mean interference or obligation. It just means let's be good neighbors. So we want to foster that relationship. That's what our company's about. We're going to try to do that through events and programming and emails and newsletters, okay? Speaking of a newsletter, will there be a newsletter? Absolutely. We'll do a monthly as well as a daily reminder email that once our website is live, we'll come out with not only events and things that are happening in and around property, but also best practices for you as a resident, best practices for the HOA, for clubs and organizations. So you'll see that come out of our office daily once the website is live. Is Food Truck Friday still going to happen? Yes, Food Truck Friday is still going to happen. Jana is working hard with a lot of our vendors to get up to speed on what was provided in the past. And before the lifestyle folks get a chance to say it, I'm going to say it. Our goal is to take whatever it is that you like to do and continue that, and then add to it. Whether that means the enhancement of a specific event or the addition of a new event. But if you like Food Truck Friday, it's not going to go anywhere. So, and that goes for any event that is popular and that you all like to attend. Who do I call for my account balance? Well, I tell everybody to call Eva for anything. So, so you can get a hold of her at the farmhouse. Your login to the portal that we're going to provide to you will give you that account balance information as well. So if you log in there and you see something that's a little fishy, that you have a question about, if there's some sort of late fee or it doesn't show that your balance is paid, pick up the phone, give us a call, let us look into it for you. That's what we're here for. Will we be able to submit violations via website? So a lot of you like to be maybe tattletales a little bit, telling your neighbor for some violations. The best way to do that, if you have a question about a rule or a regulation, a lot of those documents are going to be on that website. If you want, just shoot me an email though. Several of you have already done this where you said, hey, I don't think this is what we intended. I don't think this is what it says in our documents. And I've looked into it and we've already doled out a few violations. And then we've also settled a couple misunderstandings between property lines and things like that. So feel free to just reach out to me and let's find out the answer together. What's the staffing model for FirstService on site? So I'm the general manager for both properties. I will live mainly at the farmhouse. You'll see me here. I was here a couple days last week pretty heavily trying to do some inventory and things like that. Jana is our lifestyle director. So she will be a lifestyle director for both properties. We will be hiring, I believe the lady's name was Malia that worked here before. We will be hiring a Malia, not the Malia. So There will be, that job is going to be posted at the end of this week. We hope to have somebody fairly quickly in that spot to just be here as, you know, a voice and attendant, somebody who can help with some programming items that Jana will help implement, and just be a friendly face for all of you. Eva will also obviously be at the farmhouse. She handles most of our administration. And then you'll see Jeff and Phil obviously walking around, driving golf carts around, doing a lot of preventative maintenance. And Phil's been obviously a huge asset to us, but Jeff has also really become familiar in the last 4 weeks with the property. And if you see those guys riding around on a cart, flag them down if you got a problem. You know, they're always willing to help and can give you some best practices as well. So that's it for me right now. I'll certainly come back if we have questions later, but I want to throw it back to Joe here.
Okay. So I'm not feeling the love when we introduced Eva and Phil. There was a roaring applause. So hopefully I can earn that love at some point in my existence here. So we want to go through just a little bit of the details on the transition, and it's kind of every transition we have. It's the same model we use, and just talk about where we're at, where we're going, and whatever issues that we were dealing with. Just kind of give you guys a reason. So our biggest two things when we're transitioning from one management company to another is account balances. We need to make sure that what's been paid by you, the homeowner, comes over to us, so we start off with a clean balance. If you hadn't paid, there was a balance owed, that goes forward as well. That's one thing. The other thing, probably more importantly, is your information. So your phone numbers, your names, your email addresses, because that's how we're going to communicate to you. We like to think that we communicate well, that we try to over-communicate. You can never communicate enough. Unfortunately, we had very little contact information. So the information we had, we were working with Coulter as well, because they had a database of some information, email addresses most importantly. And so we've been working through and getting that information populated into our Connect system, which is what you'll have access to, Dan was speaking of. And so that's why we've been a little lax on the communication so far, and we apologize for that. I think I spent a few hours putting over 900 email addresses into our system just for Ponds. And so now I'm working on the Cresswind side, and I'm hoping to have that done by Friday. So when Dan was talking about the website, as soon as we get that information in, and as I said, by Friday, Pascal is going to send out everyone an email with a link to register for our website. On that website, you'll be able to go in and see your balance. If you want to make a payment, it'll say pay now. You can do that. You'll be able to have access to the financials. You'll be able to have access to the documents that you have, the declaration, the bylaws. You'll be able to, there's a search portal. We're in the process right now of answering over 600 questions in there that pertains specifically to Cresswind at the Ponds. And so once we get that information all in there, you'll be able to go in, type a question in, it'll pull up an answer. You also have the ability to, if there's an emergency that you need to get a hold of someone right away, there's a 24/7 customer care number. So we have 2 call centers, one that is in Las Vegas and also one that is in Hollywood, Florida. That is there in case you need to get a hold of someone in an emergency situation. It's not there to pass, so you don't have to go to Eva or Dan with information. We're here to serve you on a local level, on a personal level, but if you need to get a hold of someone right away, there is a 24/7 number. That way you always have access to somebody that can help you. And if there was that emergency and you call that number, they're going to call Dan. If they can't get a hold of Dan, they're going to call me on my cell phone. If they can't get a hold of me, they're going to call my boss on his cell phone. So it happens a lot. I get calls 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, in the afternoon, Saturdays, Sundays. So there's always a way to get a hold of us. And there also is a portal in there if you just want to click and send an email to them from that portal, you'll have access to that as well. So we are, like I said, we're in the process of getting all your contact information updated. If you have neighbors or newer neighbors that don't receive our emails, and we're still getting emails and we're updating as we receive those, please let them know to contact Dan or Eva so we can get their information in. By Friday, we'll have all the data that we have updated, and then we'll send out that link for you to register. So by Friday also, your account balances should be shown correctly when you log in and look at your balance. If there is an issue with a balance forward, or you've made a payment but it hasn't been processed or registered on your account just yet, let Dan know. We'll figure out what's going on. I've heard that a couple times is somebody's made payments, but it hasn't been posted to their account. When I was going through a lot of the registers, it looks like the payments were being made. So that issue should be taken care of by now, but if it's not, definitely please let us know. Does anybody have any issues with making payment at this present time? No?
I don't have an issue, I have a question though.
Oh.
If you were going to pay your dues online through your bank, when we received our payment book, it said that the payment receipt, or the little paper must be submitted with the payment?
That's just for a check that you're mailing in.
Okay, but if we're paying it online through our bank, no problem.
You just put the address in and
Account number.
important that the account number is always referenced on your check or your bank check that you send in. Yeah, that's very important because they get a lot of those, and when they receive them, if they don't know who it is, it might take a little bit of time to get processed. So we have anytime we take over association, we have a 30, 60, 90-day plan. 30-day plan really is, and it's probably going to a little bit more than 30 days this time because Dan, he was relocating from South Florida, so he wasn't able to get up here till the 14th, although we did have management in place during the first 2 weeks of the month. But him and Jeff and Phil are really just trying to get a site assessment, try to figure out what we have, what do we need, and just really do a whole site assessment for both communities. In 60 days, that he'll work on even doing more site assessment, but also that 60 to 90-day period is really implementing those things. And so he'll be working with the board, working with you, the homeowners, just to figure out, are there things that we're missing that we don't know about? We might not have a lot of information about what was promised, what was going to happen. So feel free just to let us know. Same thing that Mark and Janet will talk about in just a few minutes when it comes to the social events. We weren't given a lot of stuff. We weren't given passwords to computers, so we had to break into them ourselves. So we do have some things, and we think we have a good grasp of the events you guys were doing, but if we're not doing something, it's not because we don't want to do it. It might just be because we don't know that that's what it is you guys were doing. So don't ever hesitate to reach out, go visit them in the farmhouse, send them an email, a phone call. We're more than happy to get those things on the schedule. So speaking of lifestyle, we're going to introduce you to Mark LeClaire from Cresswind. He's going to go through his own lifestyle PowerPoint. While he's getting set up, we'll introduce you again to Jana and let her just give a little background and let you know where she came from and that she's excited that she's here.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Jana. I live on James Island. I have 3 teenagers. I might survive the next few years. We will see. But I've spent the last 6 years at Kiowa Island Golf Resort. I was the resort program manager there. So if you guys aren't familiar with Kiowa, it's a 5-star, 5-diamond resort. I've done, events and programs of all kinds. So camps, art studios, all the way up to all of our public events, our marathon, comedy, weekend, concerts, festivals, all kinds of stuff. But I'm used to, performing and executing events at a very high level. And I'm super excited about being here with you. What I didn't have at Kiowa was a lot of really good feedback and interaction and people telling me, this is really what we want to see. When you have guests that come once a year, you don't really get that. So I'm really looking forward to that kind of give and take. And what Dan said is, I'm here to help you. I want to do what you want to do. Let's try new things. Let's continue on with the things that you really like. And I want that input from you. I don't want to tell you what I think we should do. I want to do stuff that'll be fun and really help you foster friendships and the relationships that you have here and just help you build a tight-knit, close community. So what I will say is I am putting together February's calendar. I have a little bit to go on here. I have the fitness schedule. I have a couple of the club meetings. I know I'm going to miss things. So if there's something that you would like added to that, please email me, let me know. I am going to be here in the clubhouse all day tomorrow. So I'll come at 8, I'll be here until 4. Come talk to me, say hi. I think talking to you guys is where I'm gonna get all the information that I need. So if that calendar goes out and your club or event or program is not on it, I'm sorry. Certainly not excluding anything on purpose, but just give me the information. That's all we need to do. But I look forward to being here. I was at Kiowa for 6 years. I don't plan, I plan on being here for at least that long, if not longer. And just really look forward to getting to know each and every one of you.
Thanks, Jenna. So, my name is Mark LeClaire. I have been the lifestyle director for Cresswind at Lake Lanier for 4 years and been tasked to help oversee all the Cresswind properties, which is an honor. Apparently what we were doing over at Lake Lanier was pretty darn good, and what Coulter wants to see is consistency for all the Cresswind properties. So what we're going to do here, like Janice said, is continue to do what you guys like to do. And what I think you're getting extra is an award-winning lifestyle here that we've done at other Cresswinds. And in 2018, the National Association of Home Builders actually awarded Cresswind 2 national awards, not local, national awards for Lifestyle Director of the Year and Lifestyle Program of the Year. So what I'm going to try to do in conjunction with Jana is to try to bring some lifestyle here that you guys haven't seen before. And so we're pretty excited about that. And one of the things I do want to show you, if it works, is a video, and of course a lot of the video is it's like a 4-minute video, but shows all the different things that we've been doing at other Cresswind properties and Lake Lanier. And the reason I want to show you that is because I want you guys to see the expectation level that we have for what lifestyle should be like, and what you're going to have. So I want you to get excited about it, because this is what we're going to be bringing here to Cresswind at the Ponds. It's fantastic. We're bringing Winter Wonderland to Cresswind at the Ponds. Okay, just hit slideshow. I think we got it backward. Yeah, weird. Yeah, I can email this to you. Oh, we got a screen, that's good. Let's go ahead and just hit slideshow and see what happens. There we go. Living the Cresswind lifestyle. I had to put that in there. You guys know I had to, right? I'm pretty proud of that. So we hope to have more awards for the Ponds. So we did win Lifestyle Director and Lifestyle Program of the Year. And I want to see Jana up there next year, right? So what is the Cresswind Way? We have a very specific brand that Cresswind is. And what it is fitness, nutrition, relationships, and I added this one, a whole lot of fun. So this is the brand that we're trying to do, and we are very focused on fitness, and luckily Jana has a very fitness background, so she's familiar with fitness programs, instructions, classes, and you can see, like here at Lake Lanier, we have basically the same size thing. Now you don't have an indoor pool, But I did talk to the Y about water aerobics, so they're going to be hopefully starting that up again. Our nutrition with cooking classes, obviously you have your cooking kitchen here, so we'll be doing that. We did start a farmer's market right on site, so that's something we're going to be looking into, bringing in local farmers and different vendors. Relationships, we want to work with our community. We have a lot of volunteer programs. We have a volunteer day where they come in and you can sign up for different volunteer, Habitat for Humanity and all that. I also throw relationships in with, the people that live here. That's what makes a community special, is the people. So we have a lot of events that are very social. Now this is my favorite part. This is actually my very first show I did at Lake Lanier, which was a Jimmy Buffett tribute, and everyone dressed up. We had margaritas, and I got a big, gigantic, inflatable water slide, and they actually went down it. And this is just, I'm gonna let you watch this. This is some of the events that we do in our ballroom. They are crazy. All of our events are BYOB. Then people bring food. And as you can tell, we try not to do things just halfway. It's about the lights, it's the show, it's the dancing. It's Vegas coming to Cresswind. And again, you can bring in the best entertainment, but what makes it is the audience having a good time. We can do that in here, right? So we also have a lot of diversity. We know not everyone likes the same music here. Not everyone, likes the same types of things. So we try to mix things up with the different types of music, comedy shows. We are going to be doing some major outdoor concerts here. That includes giant stages just like that. And then we do a lot of the tribute type artists, which I've already have lined up, that want to come play here. We just got to figure out the date. So this stuff is coming soon, this year, some within a few months. We like to dress up. We have theme nights, 70s night. I know you guys all stole some of those 70s outfits hidden away in the closet. And we do a grandchildren weekend every year where you can bring your grandchildren. We get the bouncy houses and we get the magic shows and arts and crafts. And so this is what we're doing at Lake Lanier at the moment. You guys will get there very quickly. When I started there 4 years ago, they were about the same size as you guys are now. So this has grown in just in a few years to all those classes, all those clubs. And this is what Jana will be working on, is to help you guys, help yourselves have the best lifestyle you can possibly have. And I wanted to show that to let you guys know that this is going to happen. When I first got here to this location, early January I came, and what I was doing was an assessment of the clubhouse and the grounds and the amenities. And I luckily just got some great news today. So what I did was an assessment. Are we going to be able to do the kinds of things that we've been able to do at other locations here? No. Why? We don't have a stage. We don't have lights. We don't have the equipment needed to make things a huge show. So what FirstService brings here is an expertise in all these things. We've done them so many places. And we took a proposal to Coulter, said, in order for us to maintain the level that you expect for all the Cresswind brands, we need this stuff. And they agreed to pay for it. So we are excited about that. So we're going to try to get these larger events, bigger events started very, very quickly. I'm thinking even in March we're going to start having comedy shows and bands in here on top of what you guys are already used to. So I think you're going to be really pleased. And we're really excited to be bringing this stuff to you. Thank you.
All right, so before we get to the fun of the Q&A, I want to show you a few slides. But before I get to there, what I'm going to show you is some of the other communities that we manage. But two things that I want to let you guys know for sure. Number one, Mark, Gary, myself, FirstService, we understand the Cresswind expectation, the Cresswind lifestyle, and we're able to deliver that to you. The second thing is you hear a lot of Lake Lanier, you hear some of Peachtree City, Cresswind, Charlotte. We understand though that each place is its own unique community. And so when we speak about those other communities, we're just using that as a point of reference, that we're here not to make you the next Lake Lanier, the next Charlotte, the next Peachtree City. We're here to make you the one and only unique Cresswind of the Ponds. So we want you to understand that when we talk about these things, they're point of references. We're not trying to make you like them. We want to work with you, the homeowners, to help us understand who is it that you want to be as a community. And then we're going to use all of that expertise and all the buying power that Mark has when he's doing multiple shows to make you that community. So some of the other communities that we oversee, the top left one is the Lake Lanier location. That's the one where Mark and Gary are from. So we also oversee some Del Webb properties, one in Tennessee. We oversee Sun City, Huntley, and Illinois. Cresswind, Peachtree City, and Peachtree, Georgia. Del Webb property in Florida. We do the Margaritaville Latitudes in Daytona Beach, but also the one in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Lake Charles and Port St. Lucie. Kings Point in Florida, and Century Village in Florida. Soleil Laurel Canyon we do in Canton, Georgia. Windermere, which is in Cumming, Georgia. The Quarry in Fort Myers, Florida. Mundy Mill in Gainesville, and Ave Maria in Ave Maria, Florida. These are just a few of the large-scale HOA properties that we oversee. We oversee a lot more than that, but we just wanted to give a couple examples so that you guys understand that we come to this with the experience, the knowledge, the SOPs, the understanding of how to do this. One of the things you would never imagine is how difficult it is when we're trying to figure out how to set up the clubs the right way for Cresswind. We've learned that. We don't want to make the same mistake twice. They always say we only want to pay the dump tax one time. We've already paid the dump tax. So when we start setting up clubs here, Gary and Dan, Mark and Eva will all work with those clubs and figure out how to do it, or implement Jana. I told you Eva yesterday too, I apologize. But we're going to get them implemented the right way the first time, so we're not having to go back and recreate the wheel. So we'll open it up to Q&A. We ask for two things. Number one is if it's a culture question, please hold off on that. We can't answer culture questions, but as Dan said, next Wednesday, February 6th, they'll be at the Farmhouse Pavilion to be able to answer those questions. And number two, we ask for more of a general question. If you have a specific question about your account, about something pertaining only to you, we'll be up here afterwards and we'd love to meet you and answer your questions. So those are really the two stipulations, but